It all comes down to this one final matchup for 8-man football in the Middle Tennessee Athletic Conference. It's the championship of 2019. The Kingdom.com kickoff show begins now.
He got it!
Lost by Griffin across the middle,
Wide
open.
And leave it to NUSA to pull out some masterful perspectives as we lead up to game time. The Eagles and the Colts, the number one seeds for the North and South, colliding for the 2019 MTAC championship game. Welcome inside the broadcast booth, everybody. I'm Spencer Tomset. Pleasure to have you with us. What history are we going to see witnessed tonight? Will Christian Community be pass the record for the most state championships for MTAC at 4? They've already have a chance to defend their title tonight. Or will Ezell-Harding win the championship game in their first season of 8-man football, a feat only accomplished by Franklin Classical back in 2011? And I missed a chance to make this joke in 2017, but welcome to the MTAC championship, Isaiah Austin.
It's going to be a fun one. Happy to be here.
So for Ezell-Harding, their first championship appearance, their only loss is out of state to the Evangel Christian School Lightning. What is going to happen here on their home turf? How much is that going to play a factor into the fast Lightning offense we've seen from the Eagles?
Well, we know they score a lot of points, and that's something we're definitely going to see from this team. But it's really going to be interesting because we're obviously seeing a different CCS team than we saw week one. And we'll be able to see if their offense is going to be able to, their defense is going to be able to show up as well as it did last week against Lancaster.
If there's any team that is very versed in making adjustments last second, it's Christian Community. And the big factor, they're playing on a 52 by 100 field instead of the 40 by 80, which seemed to have a huge effect on why they got that semifinal win. But for Christian Community, they've been in this situation before. Do nerves play a factor at all?
I don't think so. For Ezell-Harding, maybe a little bit, but certainly not for CCS. As you said, they've been here before. But the reason they won last week, although it was part of the thing that went into it was the 80 by 40, but it's just staying within themselves and it's staying true to their game. And if they do that tonight, they got a good chance to pull this one out.
And as we lead up to kickoff, we're going to hand the mic to the president of the Middle Tennessee Athletic Conference, Mr. John Horner. Shift over a little bit. This is all a work in progress. John, looks like the season is about to end in a second. What can you say about this matchup and how great it's looking for both of the number one seeds to be facing off against each other?
Well, Spence, you do have both the number one seeds. I mean, it just ended up that way. Like you said, we just went from an 80-40 field. That's what CCS prides themselves on. It is going to be, can CCS's defense contain number 9? He is a big, you get north to south with him, he's a big load to take down, that guy. And it's just one of these games where the top two are here. May not be the top two offenses. One is the top offense. The other one got beat last week. But we got the two number one seeds from the north and the south. So I think it's going to be a great matchup, between both of them. Like you said, Flanders, he has a way of just figuring out a good game plan. Good assistant coaches behind them. I mean, I can't wait for this kickoff to start.
Now, of course, this is a first for MTAC. You have the MTAC logo on the center of the field. First time for that. New trophy. not to preview too much, but going forward, this is just some of the steps that are being taken by the MTAC board to step up the game for the MTAC.
Yeah, we are. We're trying to. Well, hopefully, it'll entice other smaller schools, out there that maybe 11-man football isn't made for them, and take that step. Ezell did. It's worked out for them this year. With a 25-man roster or 30, it's difficult to compete with the big boys when they got about 40 or 50 guys on their roster and they can just constantly rotate. But I'll tell you what, Jason Charlton and his athletic department, fantastic job. MTAC logo right in the middle of the field, looks real professional. We're just trying to step it up each and every year, so hopefully this is one step closer to what we're trying to achieve, and that's perfection.
It's going to be fantastic. Thanks for coming on, John. We'll see you for. We
Thank
worked
you,
on this earlier too with the
worked on this
handshake and
earlier,
everything.
The handshake,
So,
trying to get them squeezed a little bit harder.
in-stadium introductions coming up in just a moment. The MTAC Championship is next. They finished the regular season as the number 1 seed in the North with a 7-4 record and won in the semifinal playoff against Lancaster Christian Academy. Give it up for the defending conference champions, the Christian Community School Colts. At this time, we ask that you please rise and remove your caps for a word of prayer from the headmaster of Ezell-Harding Christian School, Dr. Lindsay Judd.
Let's pray. Heavenly Father, what a season, what a great experience we have had with all of these teams this season. We thank you so much for giving these young men the ability to play this great game. We thank you for Christian Community School and for Ezell-Harding Christian School and for the young men that play, the coaches that coach, for all of our families, for our teachers, for our administration, for all the community that supports both these great schools and teams. We ask that you be with these players as they participate tonight, that they can do the things that they have practiced, that they can have good teamwork, they can have good sportsmanship, that they can play every way to the best of their ability. Lord, we thank you for the people who have made these schools what they are today, the people that have sacrificed to help in every way possible to help Christian Community and to help Ezell-Harding Christian School be the best schools that they can be. And Lord, we play this game under your watch as we think of your Son and his sacrifice and his resurrection. And so we ask all these things in his name. Amen.
To honor the United States of America and perform our national anthem, please welcome students of Ezell-Harding Christian School, Derek Griffin, Noah Preston, Casey Sen, and Haven Foster.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early lights what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fights o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
And after all the hype, all the build-up, everything to lead to this point, it's now championship time in Tennessee as James gets the camera adjusted from his end. James, of course, down below the press box and going to be experiencing some chilly weather here. 41 degrees, clear skies, and looking set for a fantastic MTAC championship game.
Yeah, and both teams want to set the tone in the run game, so this weather's going to play into both of their favors.
It's going to be very special. And now we have the pleasure of welcoming the officiating coordinator for tonight's game, Mr. Ronnie Perkins. Now, Ronnie, it's always a pleasure to have you on air. Wanted to talk to you, of course, about, we mentioned it last year, but what are the factors that go into the officials being selected for this game based on their performance in the year? What are the factors that go into them getting the assignment for the championship?
Well, thank you for having me as well. Everybody has 5 evaluations throughout the year, and we score those on a point system. And then we just take the total number of points for each position, and whoever rises that level qualifies for the playoffs. Then we recalibrate everything and rescore everyone from the playoff games that they worked, and that's how we make our determination.
Now, of course, a lot of these officials, some of them have been Whitecaps through the season. Some of them have been to the line judge and everything. Any previews for the All-Star Game assignments yet?
I'm going to hold that close to my vest.
Thanks again for being in the booth, Ronnie. We appreciate it. We'll get your rules analysis as we go through the rest of the game. And after all the hype, everything built up, we are underway in the 2019 MTAC championship game, and it's a low squib kick to about the 46-yard line. Shaves about 2 seconds off of the game clock, and of course the Colts won the toss. The Eagles won the toss. They elected to defer, and the Colts chose to kick. Not something you see as often, but at least the Colts will receive it in the second half.
Yeah, and they trust their defense enough to come in here and get it done, and they'd like to start the second half off strong.
And their defense led by Coach Tommy Thornton, who won a championship as the head coach back in, I believe, 2010 with the Colts when he was in that head coaching position. But this is his 5th appearance. He's 3-1 as the defensive coordinator for Colts. And now a 1st and 10. It's a rush up the middle. Derek Griffin, he's dangerous when he has the ball. Gain of about 8 yards on the play for 2nd and 2. And Derek Griffin, with his statistics through the year, him and both Kadarius Price are impressive players. 60 carries for 1,033 yards, about 17.2 yards per carry, 17 touchdowns, 172.2 yards per game.
Yeah, and Derek Griffin's offensive game is built more like a running back or receiver just because, you see a lot of times quarterbacks will have elite speed, but this guy is extremely athletic. Not only does he have extremely quick down-the-field speed, he's very shifty and can break tackles.
Let's make it about 11-12 and winding down. It's time management is what we've seen in most of the MTAC championships we've called, and on now a 2nd and 2 motion for the Eagles. Griffin with a direct snap again. Left side, he's getting free. How about Derek Griffin to the end zone?
15,
Touchdown!
4, 3, 2, 1.
And the Eagles strike first in the championship.
The result of the play, it will be
This guy is a superhero. He goes and sings the national anthem, then goes onto the field and single-handedly leads a 2-play, 65-yard drive down the field for a touchdown. What a play.
Absolutely incredible. Make that touchdown number 18 on the year. It's now about 10:53.
And that's a backbreaker for Christian Community School. It's never fun to start a game out like that.
2-point conversion attempt for the Eagles. Griffin just holds on to it again. Up the middle, 2 points, good. Make that now 8-0 already. The Eagles strike first. The 2019 MTAC Championship game presented by Kingdom.com is sponsored by Grace Point Healthcare, modern medicine the old-fashioned way. Jets Pizza of Springfield, Fort Campbell, and Clarksville. Let's get Jets. The Allergy Center of Franklin. Visit allergyfranklin.com. And by Joe Graves with I Hate Buying Insurance. Visit IHateBuyingInsurance.com. .53 left to go. A kickoff here at the about the 39-yard line. Colts get in. We'll see Christian Community's offense come onto the field for the first time. Of course, the Colts are no stranger to the MTAC championship. They're 3-3 all-time. Their 7th appearance, the most in history. The only one close enough is Aaron Academy with 5, and they're not even having football anymore. no sports for their program, but for Christian Community to have 7 appearances and being in about I believe 4 of the last 5, it's just absolutely incredible.
Yeah, it truly is. And if they're going to get this offense rolling, they're going to have to get into their pass game. And as we see, they're lining up in a formation we haven't seen a lot.
This is going to be
And that's going to be a free play, looks like.
And we'll get our first penalty of the game. Get it from Howard Chanel. Looks like we got some mic issues going on. We'll see if we can get that adjusted later on. Looks like it got it a little bit, but we'll get that adjusted later on. As we were saying, of course, Jordan Flanders coming into tonight, his record total as a head coach, 42-14. Toss left side, incomplete.
Oh, that's got to be pass interference right there.
No flag. No flag on that, but Coach Flanders coming into tonight a record total of 42-14, and this year 5-4.
That's unbelievable. No, not the flag, the record. That is unbelievable, especially for a young coach coming in and finding immediate success.
Taking 2 losses in the MTAC championship, lost in 2015 against Franklin Christian, and then 2017 in a miracle against South Haven.
We haven't seen this formation in 2 or 3 years by anybody.
Toss left side, Brooks Pugh. He's trying to get through, but that defense just stuffs him for a loss of 3 yards.
See, the Ezell is covering this correctly. They're putting guys on the outside. But where this offense is the best is getting the guys open in space, and that's going to be Brooks Pugh and Johnny Stapleton. Those are big-body receivers. You get them the ball in space and see what they can do. These screen passes, although they might open up throughout the game, Ezell's defense is reading them.
So now a loss of about 3 yards for a 2nd and 13. Motion. Jones looking for the pass. He's got pressure. Jones trying to find something. Gets the catch almost complete. That was intended for Johnny Stapleton, but couldn't get the catch.
Well, Johnny Stapleton had an opportunity to make a play there. Pass was a little bit low. They're fortunate now to only be on 3rd down because of that penalty, so another opportunity to get the ball moving. Not a great start for CCS.
Colts are, like we said, pregame, the coaching, well, more so we've been saying all season long, and the time that you've been with Amen Extreme, the coaching staff for the Colts has a lot of experience, a lot of great things about them. They're facing a 3rd down and 13. Deep toss left side, open Stapleton! Just gets past his man. Can he get there? Touchdown for the Colts.
There he is. There's the man. Big contributor last week, getting his first touchdown of the game. You see, they're expecting the screen pass here. He pump fakes, and the cornerback on that side does not see him running a go on the outside. Perfect pass by the quarterback. Great catch by Stapleton, and a touchdown for CCS.
Just needle and thread to about the 45-yard line. And all the way for another 6 points, 2-point conversion attempt coming.
In that formation, you have to have the personnel to be able to run that. That's not something you can run with any team. And CCS coming out here and showing that they can run in that type of odd formation. And a lot of counters can open up now that they've gotten success in it.
Here's an attempt. Rush up the middle. And does he break the plane to the goal line looking for a ruling?
Didn't look
just
like
short. That could be crucial going down the stretch. Make that now 8-6. Colts respond on their first offensive drive, but don't get it tied up. The 2019 MTAC Championship presented by Kingdom.com is sponsored by Tennessee Heat Athletics. Visit TennesseeHeatSports.com. Dr. Sterling Foster. Visit drsterlingfoster.com for all your digestive issues and chiropractic needs. Chuck Miner Homes. Visit Chuck Miner Homes for the best home deals in Middle Tennessee. And by Symmetry Financial Group's Daniel Hoffmeister. Safety for your family. So the Colts respond but don't get the 2-point conversion successful, and Will Adams, the freshman kicker, set to possibly boot it deep. We've seen a little bit of that throughout the season, but it's been a low squib kick season for 8-man football and fallen on at the 34-yard line.
Well, it's a big play league, so I like the squib kick. You give your guys an opportunity to get the ball back, and my theory, if you're going to score from 65 yards, you would have scored from 80 anyway.
Coach McGee, in only his second year of being a head coach, is 12-10 already, and a lot of his victories coming from this year, 8-1 in this year, including the semifinal win against Riverside last week. He was 3-9 in 11-man last year, so I think it's safe to say the move to 8-man football was brilliant.
Yeah, certainly, and only one loss coming in an out-of-conference game, and if they win tonight, that's an undefeated season in the conference in your first year, and that's pretty mind-boggling.
So we'll see Ezell's offense for the second time tonight. Griffin scrambles, gain of about 3-4 yards. The ball's loose. Who falls on it? It looks like Ezell may have gotten to it first, and they did.
And it wasn't a perfect play, but defensively, that's how you guard the option. Obviously, there's a mismatch in a lot of positions with Derek Griffin and Kadarius Price's speed, just for the sole fact of how fast they are. But if you read it like that and make sure your man stays glued to whoever they're guarding, then that's how you stop that kind of play.
Now, Ronnie, I'll get your quick word on this with tight plays like that. Is it what kind of training do you give to your officials? We'll get that in a second after this with a 1st and 10 on the 45. And handoff of the middle. It's Kadarius Price tripped up in the backfield by Isaac Altum, the senior. It's a big play there. But, Ronnie, on those types of loose ball plays, especially with it being fumbles and you don't have the benefit of instant replay, what's the message you give to your officials in that situation?
On whether or not you can rule on possession before the scrum. If you can't, the umpire generally sticks his arm in there to hold the ball, and then everybody else separates the other players, and then whoever has the ball at the end, that's who it belongs to.
Appreciate it, Ronnie. Getting all the good rules analysis as we can. 2nd down and 11. Griffin again looking for the option. Shovel pass to Price. Kadarius Price will get the 1st down, maybe just short. Extra yard gain on the 44-yard line. And Kadarius Price has just been fantastic this year. I mean, 65 carries for almost 1,000 yards, averaging about every time he gets the ball in his hands, about 1st down and 5 yards.
Yeah, definitely. And, this defense, they've been good on the 40-by-80, but where they're probably going to struggle tonight is that outside run. They're so accustomed to pushing people that way and using the 40 yards as kind of a 9th man on the field. But here with the field being wider and the backs being so fast, it's not really an advantage. They need to push those guys in more.
And I believe we got a timeout called by – looks like we probably have a timeout called by Christian Community, waiting for the officials to confer.
Looks like just a substitution there.
See if we can. Just a stoppage of time for a substitution. Now, 1st and 10 inside Colts territory. Price, left side, being chased down. Are they going to get to him? Finds the opening on the left side. Touchdown, Ezell-Harding.
We watched the replay on this. I believe it was Andrew Webster, a great block on the outside that opened up this play.
See if it loads for us. There we go.
See the receiver there, Andrew Webster, sealing the man off.
Looks like it was also a block from Logan Davidson that helped him get out.
Both guys sealed the edges. And one thing that CCS's coach and quarterback harped on the show this past Sunday is the line play from Ezell. That's a huge advantage that they have in every game.
Arguably one of the best lines in the league. That's a reason why Griffin is able to do what he does, either stay in the pocket long or just be able to run it to the outside. 2-point conversion attempt. And here's Griffin again, keeping it. That's a big stop.
Yeah, and this defense has come up with great plays like that. But these big plays, it's what Ezell's offense runs off of, and they're going to have to figure out a way to stop those up.
14-6, Ezell leads. Well, a big stop that was much needed for Christian Community after missing a 2-point conversion attempt. And how about this onside kick? Goes
chaos.
About 10 yards, and the Colts get it. That was good reaction by Micah Jones to recover at the starting quarterback and on the kickoff team. Micah Jones has had a pretty decent year. I mean, he had big shoes to fill for Nathaniel Rowley graduating last year, but I'd say Micah has filled it up pretty well. 86 for 169. QBR about 98.1, and his ratio is 21 touchdowns to 5 interceptions.
Yeah, and he struggled week 1, got a little better week 2, and now he's filled in the shoes perfectly at the time that they needed him to. A part of that is his speed. Similar to Derek Griffin, we have 2 really quick quarterbacks who can run a lot of plays out of this option, and we see with CCS they like to run the triple option a lot, and I'm sure we'll see that tonight.
Here's a rush to the left, and it's Brooks Pugh getting the catch, and back to the line of scrimmage for a 2nd and 10. Shout out to all 89 of you watching this 2019 MTAC championship game through us. Glad to have you along. Spencer Thompson, Isaiah Austin. Got a 4-man crew today. Actually got Matthew Bowden operating the camera, and James Shannon operating all of our equipment, all of our computer equipment wise, and especially shout out to NUSA owner here, Isaiah Austin, for making that amazing intro for the broadcast.
NUSArecruitment.com.
It's a deep toss left up the center, incomplete, intended for Johnny Stapleton, and with good coverage there.
Great coverage.
Looks like by Jamari Liddell, who's been fantastic for the Eagles.
No, Liddell came in at just the right second to swat that ball away. Great defense. Great play on the ball by Stapleton, but just better defense.
Jamari Liddell, a junior, he's got 1 more year to play with the Eagles, and depending on how many students they pick up, because the Eagles only have about 4 or 5 seniors graduating.
And that's scary. And here's the triple option formation, Spencer. So they're going to run him.
And with the option, they elect to have a rush up the middle, and looking for number there, Brooks Pugh carried it for a gain. It's going to be 4th down and 6, but with the Colts being over midfield, we're going to see him go for it.
Yeah, and I would have run that play on 2nd down, especially with how far back they were. This triple option is very, very confusing and hard to game plan against, especially with the pass option out of it. So let's see if they go back to it here.
About 6 minutes left to go in the first. Again, the Colts missed their first extra point attempt, trying to get another score here. They did block the second 2-point conversion attempt from Ezell. Here's a 4th down and 6. Jones, right side to Pugh, overthrew him.
Love the play call, though. Pugh had the opening. The ball was just overthrown by 2 steps.
And that was Derek Griffin on the coverage, too. And turnover, we'll see Ezell's offense take over.
Yeah, Derek Griffin has quietly stepped into this cornerback role and has done a tremendous job these past few games.
He's had some decent plays on defense, especially on that coverage, too. Even though it was overthrown, he was ready to try and swat it out at the last second. So now on the 46-yard line, we'll see Ezell-Harding and Kadarius Price. Those are the 2 names you're going to really call a lot that we've done a few games for Ezell-Harding this year, and those are the two names you're going to call a huge amount are Derek Griffin and Kadarius Price. And although Price has only carried it once or twice in the game, he's probably going to have a stellar performance going into the rest of this championship game. It's motion for Stockard. There's a fake handoff. Griffin fooled the defense. Griffin going to the left side. Can they get to him? Will Avery Harper catch him? No! Touchdown!
Well, it all starts with the angle on the outside. The defender who was Micah Jones, maybe was deceived by his speed there. Thought he could stop him, but he zoomed to the outside very quickly. That's just KYP. Know your personnel.
Griffin it's one of the many cases where Griffin is just weaved to the outside. We've seen that. The Eagles are a very rush-heavy team. We even saw that in that playoff game last week against Riverside. They passed it maybe once or twice. It was a rush-heavy game, and it shows by the stats.
Yeah, and if they pass more than 5 times tonight, they are officially out of their comfort zone.
And rush up the middle, Kadarius Price broke the plane to the goal line. Make that now 22-6. The Eagles are trying to run away with it here. The 2019 MTAC Championship, presented by Kingdom.com, is sponsored by International Fire Protection Incorporated. Life safety is our business. Yep. Grow Live Give. Visit growlivegive.com. Star Physical Therapy. Your health, our hands. Choose Star. And by Kingdom.com, the ministry technology provider. Back for a kickoff here for the Eagles, leading 22-6. We'll see how the Colts can respond. They went on a 4th and out inside Eagles territory on a 4th and 6. And again, it's one of those situations you don't think about often.
And that's Ezell.
Ezell gets it.
Another bad angle there by a CCS player.
We'll see if we can get the replay on that, but just onside kick. The officials are conferring at the moment, trying to figure it out, and
not
piecing
only
angles together. Officially, Ezell got it.
Yeah, not only was it 10 yards, but the CCS player touched it, making it eligible.
So we'll see the kick here, and yep, touched off a player. That was a great recovery by Reed Steinley, one of the several seniors trying to lead the Eagles to their first state championship in 18 years.
Yeah, and this is not the game plan of your CCS. This is not what you were hoping for, giving the ball back to Ezell-Harding, because when they get a lead, it's hard to gain any traction. It's kind of like running on a treadmill. But is CCS faster than the treadmill? Do they have it in maybe 12th gear? And you never know.
Ooh, there's an option. Deep toss across the middle. Pugh almost got the interception.
Oh, he
but
caught
the
it, and
catch
that's a
made by
touchdown.
Jamari Liddell. Touchdown. Pugh looked like he could have had it.
Yeah, and Ezell's passing game has definitely not been something to necessarily ride home about this season. But arguably the best receiver in the league just got out-caught by one of Ezell's receivers, and he scores Liddell getting that one in.
So make that now a 28-6 game. Just all the way to the end zone again. Onside kick recovery, instant offensive play, end zone. 2-point conversion attempt stopped in the backfield. 28-6 with 5:15 left to go in the first. The Eagles are trying to run away with it at home.
Well, the Eagles have kicked a lot. They're getting their reps in to kicker Logan
Guaranteed
Davidson.
another, yep, onside.
And another onside goes out of bounds.
Penalty markers on the field.
So they'll place it, I believe, at the 40-yard line. Good field advantage for the Colts, but of course being down 22 points, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, and I'm sure that CCS does not want to see another kickoff. They just want their offense to get the ball and get rolling.
Thanks again to all 100 of you watching now. 28-6 right now. The Eagles leading by 22.
And they are going to re-kick it, it looks like. They're bringing 7 guys up.
So they're just taking it back from the 40-yard line. They're going to elect to re-kick instead of the better field advantage. They might be wanting to give Brooks Pugh a chance here.
Yeah, and I doubt they're going to kick it to him. That would be the most dangerous thing they could do in this situation. This onside, it's probably going to be a squib kick. Get them inside their own territory and give their guys an opportunity to recover another one because they've already had great success so far.
And
Offsides, man.
just 2 penalties in a row. Looked like an offsides and move it back another 5 yards. So now back on the 30-yard line. See the Eagles can do here. And again, it's probably going to be an onside kick-heavy game or squib kick-heavy game because we've seen that from both sides.
Yeah,
they
this
can
ball
boot
needs to be
it deep.
placed. That ball should have been placed right at the 40.
And picked up. Oh, a toss backwards to Brooks Pugh. What a play. Make sure you get the replay on that one. Brooks Pugh to the right side. Can he get through? Almost to his feet inside the red zone.
He was about,
oh, my gracious.
He was about 11 yards from ESPN top 10. What a play. That was so dangerous. But obviously the coaching staff trusts them enough. I'm sure that the coaches knew that was going to happen.
Just look, so Davidson kicks it. You could see it's gone past the 10 yards of rush, but tossed by Jones. Great awareness.
I don't know how he got that ball straight on the numbers, taking that kind of hit. And that's not the kind of hit you want to see your quarterback taking. But it's kind of like a hook and ladder in a way, a kickoff hook and ladder. I don't know if I've ever seen that. Maybe the Music City Miracle was the closest thing.
Now on the 11.
Triple option right here.
Exactly. Triple option, 11-yard line. Jones hands it off left side. That's James Lassiter gets brought down in the backfield. How about that big play from Jamari Liddell?
Yeah, great play on defense. The counter here for the CCS Colts is to take it up the middle or try to pass it here. I don't know if they'll go to that offense again because the defense has had a great job at stopping it.
Again, Jamari Liddell, a junior. Him and Kadarius Price, 2 names that are called a lot for the Eagles. They've got 1 more year of football. Again, it's dangerous regardless of whether they win this championship or not. It's going to be very interesting to see their efforts next year. Jones scrambles. He's brought down for a sack.
And we had a receiver running the wrong way there, it looked like. Didn't have anybody rolling out with him, and if they were, we couldn't see it from here.
Braxton Coleman bringing him down in the backfield, another junior leader for this club.
Yeah, and Micah Jones has already been hit more times than you want your quarterback to be hit in an entire game. He's going to be feeling that in the second half, but this line has got to stay strong. I know that they're down a couple guys, but this is the most important game of the season. Got to protect the quarterback and got to get yards.
Make that about a third and, as James says, a quarter of the field on the 32-yard line. Jones trying to find his options. Pugh is in good coverage. Jones trying to coordinate. None of the defensive line is chasing him. He has a chance. I think this is going to go record as longest play we've seen. Deep toss towards the end zone. tipped at the last second.
That was backyard football
Yeah.
right there.
It looked like Jones could have maybe rushed up the middle or tried something, but it wouldn't have gained him back.
Well,
for
yeah, 4th and
first
30.
down. Yeah.
Wow. I don't know if I've ever seen that.
Never seen a defensive line just go backwards. And I think we got a little bit of the replay on this. Just look, just standing there, nobody's pressuring Jones. Try and make more of a loss. And
You should have just kept going. Eventually someone's going to get tired.
Right. And of course, Christian Community, it was a good job by them to make sure that they didn't have an ineligible receiver downfield on that.
Oh, they're
play.
doing it again.
And it looks like they're doing
He's
the
got to
same
run
play.
this. His linemen
gotta
need
get
to
an
go
option.
get blocks. His linemen need to go block.
They're just leaving the option. Even Flanders is shouting from the sideline to try and get something going. This is interesting.
He's got to run it.
There's across the middle, low, incomplete.
He's got to run that ball. They've got to coordinate somewhere the linemen go out and block. There's 2 guys down the field. There's 2 guys. They need to just send all the receivers down and stand in the back of the end zone. Or better yet, turn around and stand in the other side of the end zone.
James Lassiter was the intended receiver on that play. And it's just unfortunate there.
Ineligible receiver on the offense. That penalty is declined.
And it looks like they actually got a penalty of ineligible receiver downfield, but regardless, a turnover.
That is the most bizarre thing I've ever seen.
We've seen a lot of things in our time. We've seen a lot of things across all the games we called for 8-man football. I think that takes it.
If I'm Coach Flanders, I'm taking all the linemen and the quarterback off on defense and figuring out a way that we can run against that kind of thing. Saying you get him, you get him, you get him, and we're just going to go for yards.
So now a 1st and 10 for Ezell-Harding. There's a rush up the middle, just weaving through Kadarius Price. He's dangerous when he carries the ball. Finally brought down from behind by Isaac Alton, but Kadarius Price just doing what he's done throughout the season. And another big first down inside the Colts territory.
Well, I've been saying it. It is a college back, and he's only in his junior year. Very, very shifty, getting through the defense and elite speed in the open field. So we see it. We see it once again here, breaking multiple tackles and getting a huge first down for Ezell. They're in dangerous territory here. They don't miss out on a lot of points in this area.
Another score here is going to make it very much more one-sided. And the Colts have been on the other side of this. Last year shut out the Webb School feet. Left side, rush, tiptoeing the sideline. Kadarius Price just short. Just short of the goal line, down to the 1.
And is that number 8? Jamari Liddell?
No, that was Kadarius. That was Kadarius Price.
I'm sorry, on the block right there.
I might have to see the replay.
That was an incredible block. He was going up against a guy that definitely had the size on him, but he stood him up. You see that right there on the outside. Got him just enough time to get that huge gain. There's nothing could be said for this team's line play and blocking. It's fantastic.
And now another potential score here can just make it even more one-sided. But as I was saying, the Colts have been on the other side of this where they shut out the Webb School 24-0 in last year's championship. And now
untouched.
Make that a 34-6 game.
And once again, that's line play, opening that up. You know, Kadarius Price is an incredible back, but he's even better when he doesn't get touched.
1:41 left to go in the first.
There's no reason not to.
2-point conversion attempt. Was a touchdown on that, so now 34-6. Chance to make it a 30-point game, and Griffin.
They're stopping him on 2-point conversions.
So now 1:41 left, and the Colts got to come up with something here. Onside kick attempt again, and the Colts recover, so now 34-6.
Recovered by number 16, Isaac Oakland of the Colts. That'll bring up a Colts. First down.
And again, we talked about it that nerves didn't seem that it would be an issue for the Colts because, I mean, this is their 7th championship appearance. They've been in 4 of the last 5, but it's now 34-6, and they need to get some response quick, even though it's only the first quarter.
Yeah, definitely, and this is an important drive here.
Jones scrambles right side. The catch is made. Brooks Pugh gets a gain of about 3 yards, maybe 4. Second down.
Yeah, and that's the type of offense you need. You don't need to make these huge plays. It's important for them to get a drive going, get some momentum, get some confidence back because they've been very, very derailed throughout this quarter.
About a minute 33 left to go in the first. Jones. He's got a man blocking across the middle. The catch is made. There's another good reception. It looks like maybe Isaac Altum got the catch there. And that'll move the chains for a first down.
Yeah, and that's what's going to be open because I feel like their receivers may have a little bit of an advantage over these corners. They're young, still growing in their football knowledge, and it might be a good opportunity for CCS to get some yards.
Johnny Stapleton was the one who made the catch on that last play. Scramble by Jones. He's got pressure. Right side, he's got some space. He's going to run for it. Go a little bit head first. Past the first down marker and moving the chains again.
And that's where Micah Jones becomes dangerous, is those outside runs. Running the bootleg there, didn't see anybody open, beat his man to the outside and got a first down. Again, CCS finally rolling.
Again, Micah Jones has just been – he's filled the shoes pretty well for Nathaniel Rowley from last year. He's been – pretty decent, and that's a testament to as well as target Brooks Pugh. That connection they've had has been something special. Jones scrambles, looking for that in the end zone. Just overthrew Pugh, slightly to the right.
Yeah, and back to what you were saying about filling the shoes. I think that they're two different quarterbacks. I think that for one, you look at last year's and his passing yards were incredible, but that's just not the player that Micah Jones is. Micah Jones runs the offense a lot, runs the ball a lot, runs that triple option constantly. He's just a different quarterback, and his impact has been shown in a different way.
So now on a 2nd down and 10, the Colts trying to cook something up. Of course, Jordan Flanders, the offensive coordinator for Christian Community, and he is 1-2 in MTAC championships. And I'm not sure if they called a timeout. Waiting for something. They're going over the sideline. There might be a delay of game here, unless they could quickly rush over there.
This seems like a trick play.
There's a timeout.
No, it's a timeout.
Looks like they tried to trick him there.
I'm saying as in they run back to the ball and line up in that spread formation that they did earlier, just trying to throw the defense off, see how they line up.
They're watching the Vols game.
It is.
It is a great game here at Ezell-Harding. Jones on 2nd and 10. Scrambles. He's got pressure. Left side. The almost looked like it could have been interception. There's a flag down.
He caught it, though.
But looks like we've currently got a first down. We've been having some mic issues recently, but try to hear from Howard Schmel in a little bit. See if we can get anything from him. Doesn't look like anything. See if we'll get it from him in a little bit, but I think his mic is off now. That's probably where the confusion came from. But let's move back 5 yards.
And I think it's good for this offense to see the ball go into the receiver's hands a few times. It's just like in basketball, shooting free throws. You get 2 free shots, see it go through the goal, it gets some momentum. Same thing here. Not necessarily the penalty. That's not ideal. But it is good to see that they can move the ball. Brooks Pugh at running back here.
24 seconds left in the first. Jones, left side. The catch is bobbled but made by Lassiter. Lassiter weaving through, gets to about the 21-yard line.
And we knew that they were going to open up the playbook a little bit, but this is a wild play, and it works. They've been showing that they're willing to do trick plays tonight. We saw their top receiver line up at running back, run a flare screen, fake the flare screen, roll out to that side, and throw it across his body to a receiver going underneath the line to pick up a first down.
End of 12. The Eagles are red hot, 34-6. All right, here we go. Here we go. Start of the second quarter. Jones gets brought down in the backfield. It's just another tough play for CCS line tonight. So now 4th down and about 15. Spencer Thompson, Isaiah Austin. We got Matthew Bowden and James Shannon. Got Ronnie Perkins for rules analysis. So great 2019 MTAC championship game from Antioch. Thus far, the Eagles have just been doing what they've done throughout the season. And we saw this more recently in their playoff game against Riverside last week, where the Eagles, they got their score up quick, and they kept it up there, held the defense to under 25 points.
Yeah, definitely. And honestly, I believe that Ezell, going back to that, Ezell and as he misses the first down, but Ezell is going to have to, or excuse me, other teams besides Ezell are going to have to devote a week or two to practice in the offseason to prepare for this offense. Say, all right, we're going to win some games this year, but if we don't practice this, we're not going to be able to stop Ezell. So here's how we're going to, just get an extended week of practice, because this offense is unstoppable if you don't prep correctly.
That first game between the Colts and the Eagles earlier in the year ended 54-24 up at May Flanders Field. Much closer story right now from Week 8, which has been about a month and a half ago, maybe 2 months. Would have been a completely different story. 1st and 10. Let's make that 11 minutes left in the second. Scramble. Goes Griffin. He's got some
One man to
space.
beat.
Can Stapleton get to him? He can't. Griffin heading to the outside. Brooks Pugh trying to chase him down. Griffin doing what he does with juking out players. Finally brought down by 3 separate Colts personnel down to the 34-yard line.
He did the 1-2 juke. He was kind of skipping a little bit, and then he juked it and got an extra 5 yards out of that.
And again, Griffin, 60 carries coming into this game for 1,033 yards, about 17 touchdowns. Anytime he carries the ball, it's almost 2 first downs equivalent.
Yeah, definitely. And as we see the replay here, watch for it. He looks like a majestic, just baby deer, just leaping. This is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. This is nature right there. That's nature.
Here's a 1st and 10. Price up the middle. Almost brought down, but staying on his feet again. Tries a stiff arm there. Takes several guys to bring down either Derek Griffin or Kadarius Price. You mentioned it last week against Riverside, but it's sort of a situation of pick your poison where you have to prepare for Griffin to be holding onto the ball or Kadarius.
Well, once again, it's pick your poison. Pick which guy you want to beat you and go after him. And there's really no right answer. So next year for Ezell, who's going to be that guy that's going to step in? And they have a couple of guys that will likely be able to, but they're going to miss Derek Griffin's. They're going to miss what he brings next season. But for while they have him, it's an unstoppable force.
Yeah, that force is why Griffin and Price are 2 of the leaders on the offensive side for Ezell. Both of them the most touchdowns of anybody on this team. And flags fly.
Possibly an illegal procedure.
See if we can get the call. We've got some mic issues going on there. Hopefully nothing that can't be fixed at halftime. We'll have to look at that lapel mic. About 9:21 left in the second.
We could see a pass out of this kind of thing, deep in 2nd down. Opportunity to take a shot.
Griffin. He's got the option. Finally, a Colts defensive stop. Josh Madden, the junior, gets him in the backfield.
Well, Josh Madden, the junior, going in and making a play when there really wasn't anybody else on that side. So a great stop by him. Puts them in a very, very difficult position. We might see a pass play here.
Make that about 3rd down and 20+. Almost back in their own territory.
If they stop him here, we can see the first punt by Ezell in probably 3 or 4 weeks.
Maybe even more than that. There's a very rare time when the Eagles are held to 3rd and out. And to swap up, how about that option? Griffin gets the ball back. He's got open field on the left side. Only 2 men to beat. Staying on his feet, down to about the 17-yard line. That was an incredible option, and the Eagles are in the red zone.
Well, the Eagles said, y'all want to run some trick plays? Well, we got some too. And I'm telling you, Derek Griffin, I firmly believe he's going to play receiver at the next level. That is his position. He's quick, elusive, and look at his hands.
We have a replay on that, right? I think we do. Pretty sure we do. But on that one, it's just to the outside of the left end. It looked like some decent blocks there, and now in the red zone.
You see what that flag was on?
I didn't see it. I didn't see what it was there, but about 8:05. Handoff. Right side, Price again. Darius Price scrambling. That Colts defense can't bring him down. He stiff arms it, is staying on his feet. Takes 2-3 guys to bring him down at the 15 for a gain of 2.
Yeah, and that's good defense against Kadarius Price. He's obviously one of the strongest guys in the league. He's going to break tackles. He's going to get a ton of yards. But it's plays like that you're going to need to harp your defense on. 1, 2, 3 yards. That's where you want to keep it with Kadarius Price.
It's now on a 2nd down and 8. We'll see if the Eagles can punch another one in here. Don't know if there's any mercy rule in a championship game, but
Guarantee there is.
if that's the case, then start in the second half if the Colts can't get a score here as Griffin gets up to the 10-yard line, about 3-4 yards short of the first down.
Speaking of next level, check out NUSARecruitment.com. Follow us on social media at NUSA Recruitment and see what we're about.
Maybe we'll see Griffin talk to you about getting some videos made.
We'll see what happens.
Maybe Griffin or next year Kadarius Price, some of those guys like that.
I just asked Matthew Bowden, the camera guy.
He'll probably tell you firsthand he got recruited partially because of that video, or maybe 100%. Who knows?
Well, it's all about the player success. It's all about what they do. The video just kind of shows what all they've done.
Mm-hmm. 3rd down. Ball bobbles out, but Price gets it. There is a flag down. For now, it is a touchdown. We better get the replay on that in case they don't have a touchdown here. Micah Jones, it looks like he is slow to get up.
Could have easily been some type of late hit or block, seeing the aftermath.
It's a holding on the offense, so they do bring it back. But Kadarius Price with that big move towards the end zone.
And it seems like he just doesn't tire throughout the game. He can make that same play in the 4th quarter.
So move that back for a 3rd and 10.
It's like a music video.
Third and 10 on the 17-yard line. Lucky break for the Colts has moved back. Shovel pass in the backfield. It's an option. Kadarius Price, end zone. There is a flag, but it's a touchdown.
It's either going to be pass interference on the defense or the fact that there were too many men downfield.
I mean, something like that, but Howard Schmel, the Whitecap, essentially won the Man of the Year award for officiating this year and got the promotion to referee, and it's pass interference
on the offense. Yep. Man, and when they had 3-on-1, not a smart play to get overly physical when you have 2 guys wide open behind you.
2 remaining. 3rd down.
Move that back. 6 minutes left until we get to halftime. And another 3rd down. But the Eagles are no strangers to being in situations like this. They managed to score when being held to 3rd down. I mean, for the most part, they score on either 1st or 2nd down because you give it to Griffin or Price, it just goes to the end zone. But on this, with a 3rd down, it made some pretty beautiful plays.
Yeah, and this sounds absolutely insane, but this Colts, despite the score, this Colts defense has been strong on 1st and 2nd down. It's about those 3rd down conversions that's been able to drive them down the field.
About 3rd and 25. Right side, it's a reversal. Price, left side.
He's got real estate.
Price staying on his feet about the 17-yard line, so not enough for the 1st down, but can try to go towards the end zone here, or knowing how James loves him, he'd love to see a field goal attempt at this point.
I doubt we're going to see it in this situation. They're trying to put 35-point lead by the 2nd half if possible.
Make that a 4th and 10.
And a great run on the outside. Good defense, knowing where the pylons are and rushing at the right spot.
It's a quick officials timeout, it looks like. And looks like the official's notating something down here, and resuming play here. 4th and 11. And I believe a timeout called by Christian Community.
Timeout. Taken by the Colts.
Timeout. We'll be right back. Fourth down and 11. It's now after the timeout by Christian Community. I believe they have one left. I believe they have one left in the first half. Probably a shot towards the end zone. Griffin, shot towards the end zone, right side. Liddell, touchdown!
Pass is complete to number 8.
Put another 6 on the board for the Eagles, and the Colts got a score to prevent the mercy rule from going off.
And Jamari Liddell has had a big past couple of games, and he's really filling in as the next man up in this offensive system.
This is the beauty of replay. You get to rewatch this over and over as many times as we want you to.
That sounded passive-aggressive, and I don't know why. Oh, you have to watch it over and over.
Just got past the defenders. Amazing catch. 2-point conversion attempt. And Kadarius Price breaks the plane of the goal line. 42-6. Who would have thought it at this? We apologize for that brief disconnection, just a little bit of internet issues, but we're back on. Missed a sack in the backfield. It's now about 3.5 left to go in the second. It's had some issues going on there, but good to go. And it's right now a fourth down for the Colts, and this has just been the story of the game. They haven't been able to get past the first down marker except maybe 2-3 times.
Yeah, and I don't know if they're going to punt it here. Is it fourth? Yes. I would go for it here. And the reason for that is you're already so far behind. If you can get an opportunity to score here, get the ball back, and then you're talking about a lot closer game. And this is an important drive right here.
And Jones with a deep toss on the right intended for Brooks Pugh. It's intercepted.
He shouldn't have picked that. They just lost 35 yards.
Derek Griffin with the interception. Griffin with a pick there and turns over. But like you said, it's almost a question of why he didn't just bat it down to get closer.
Yeah, and it's hard. It's hard to think through that in the moment. Obviously, you see the ball coming at you. You're going to try to pick it. But a great play by Derek Griffin. So practically they punted, and he has an interception in the stat book.
And got that replay for you here. And just a pick there. And final timeout by Christian Community as you see this. And you can only imagine the frustration from Coach Flanders and the rest of the coaching staff.
Yeah, and that's been a tough matchup tonight. Brooks Pugh has had trouble getting open against the very speedy Derek Griffin, and that's going to be the matchup to watch tonight. Can he break free, and can he continue his dominance that he's had throughout the season?
And on a 1st and 10, Derek Griffin doing
what a
exactly
block.
what he does, and a brilliant block by the Eagles. Another touchdown for Ezell-Harding.
Well, the player of this play is what's his name?
I think it was Valbuena.
Alex Valbuena. I'm trying to pronounce
We
it.
interviewed him on the show Sunday, too.
He was running right next to him.
Unbelievable. And after a little bit of configuration, we've got the replay for you in just a second. And no, that wasn't the Be Right Back screen. That was the replay. We'll show that for you after the 2-point conversion. Griffin up the middle, another 2 points.
I haven't seen him make the wrong read this whole season. Such high IQ.
And we'll get that replay for you after the. Actually, let's go ahead. Let's see the replay here, James. And go ahead and see that, just what happened on that play and the weave through. And you mentioned it, Alex Valbuena on the outside, and we interviewed him on Sunday. He's a very one of the humble guys that you see with teams and such. But yeah, almost running right with him.
He's excited.
Oh yeah. Especially the fact with Alex, he's a sophomore and has the chance to lead his seniors to a championship.
Oh, he's a sophomore?
Yep.
Dang it.
2:31 left to go in the second. It's now 50-6. The Colts have got to respond, and they got to respond fast.
I'm not looking forward to coaching against him. I'll just say that. He's number 70, Alex Valbuena. He's a tank.
He's very much Valbuena as a sophomore, very fantastic player, and you could see that from the skills we've seen throughout the several games, especially in this MTAC championship. And we'll likely see an onside kick here.
Well, it scooted him in a little bit.
Collided with their players a little bit as Davidson just, instead of an onside kick, it stays in bounds about the 32, picked up and trips on his feet. Make that 227. Micah Jones tripped up there. Actually, not Micah Jones. That was Isaac Altum.
Yeah, and that's a scary instance for the quarterback. Good. He just took it out of bounds, didn't try to contest it, because that's a dangerous place to be if you're the starting quarterback. Getting a return there with 8 guys running full speed at you.
Coming up on the Star Physical Therapy halftime report, we'll get Matthew Bowden's camera perspective take on what he's seen throughout this first half, and we'll break down what we've seen from the first half of this championship game. It's coming up on the Star Physical Therapy halftime report. As Jones scrambles, looking for something, toss. Did he make the catch? Looked like it was ruled complete. Almost looked like it was on the ground. Can we get a replay of that just to be sure? And that was a catch made by Johnny Stapleton.
Yeah, in a game where the Colts have struggled, Johnny Stapleton has had himself a pretty nice game tonight. Let's just see if the other guys can step up to his level.
So we'll see if we can get the replay here. You see it close, and
I think he caught it. I think
it's hard to tell in real time, but Perkins giving the thumbs up on that. It's a catch. We don't have as many angles and such to get the slow-mo on that, but we don't have a league where the question is, what is a catch? Brooks Pugh through the middle, gets a first down to the 46-yard line.
That's the game plan. Get the ball to Brooks. He's been their most explosive receiver and rusher this season.
Brooks Pugh, 49 carries for 433 yards, averages almost a first down anytime he gets it, rushing 31 carries for 450 yards, and he's combined for 14 touchdowns for the Colts.
And I'm sure that 1,000-yard season is in the back of his head right now. If anything else, that's a great accolade to have.
And just short of midfield for a gain of about 4 yards and 2nd and 6. Now about 60 seconds left until we get to halftime, and there's going to be a lot of things that Flanders is going to have to talk about with his guys, but their main goal to get a score here to try and lessen the deficit. Jones, he's got pressure. Jones, he's got pressure, brought down and loses the football. The Eagles get it. Great awareness and recovery by Andrew Webster, the senior.
Well, this 2-minute offense, right when you're about to get the ball back and head to halftime, it's kind of like a taste test. You wanna taste it, see if your offense can get something going. But if you don't like the taste, it's time to pack up and head out to halftime.
So we'll get the replay here. It looks like he was ruled down by contact. And final seconds winding down. Looks like the Colts are out of timeout, so it looks like we're going to head to halftime for this, unless they could get the snap off, and not in time. That is the end of the first half. The Eagles are 24 minutes away from their first state championship in 18 years. The Star Physical Therapy Halftime Report is coming up in just a moment. You're watching the 2019 MTAC Championship presented by Kingdom.com on A-Man Extreme. Welcome into the Star Physical Therapy Halftime Report, everybody. I'm Spencer Thompson. That's the Lancaster Hall of Famer Matt Bowden and Isaiah Austin. And I believe, is your mic on?
No, it's not.
Might not be. It doesn't look like it. There you go. Switch on that switch, and then should be.
Oh, hey.
There
I look
should
like
be
a
good to
little
go.
man. I look like a little man right
About
now.
13 and a half, 50-6, and I'll start with you, Isaiah. It's a first half that you predicted would probably happen.
No, we
but
won't say that.
I mean, you predicted that Ezell was going to win, but not in this fashion necessarily.
Yeah, not necessarily, but it's just to show how different an 80 by 40 field is from a 100 by 50.
It's a huge difference there.
I mean, this is what they did to Lancaster last week, and now they're getting the same treatment.
Yep, It's a 42-6 victory in that semi. And Matt, you've seen you saw that playoff game between Lancaster and CCS last week. Now seeing this, it's sort of night and day and such. What are you seeing from your camera perspective down there?
Man, I'm sorry. I was going for CCS like the whole way. I thought it was gonna be a closer game, but I was just seeing Ezell blow out everyone all year, so it's kind of hard.
What do the Colts have to I'll actually start with Isaiah again on this. What do the Colts have to do to try and get it back here? Because it's a 44-point deficit on this field and such. What do the Colts have to do to at least try to make it back and defend their championship?
Well, what they're going to have to do is, just stay true to who they are. And obviously they've had a lot of issues, and this is a very, very tough one to come back from. And really it's just going to be putting the senior guys in, telling them to fight till the end, and you never know what can happen.
You think Ezell what do you think they're saying in the locker room? Just hold it out for another 24?
Yeah, hold it out, don't get comfortable. And on what he was saying, what CCS needs to do is have their DNs sit down on defense. And because, like, they keep running straight at him, and he's quick enough to get out, so they need to sit down instead of just bull rushing. And also, their offense, they need to stop running them. I don't even know what to call them. Those
It's the
plays.
super spread.
Super spread, yeah, there you go. Where the quarterback has no line, basically, so.
About 11 and a half minutes until halftime is over. You're watching the 2019 MTAC Championship presented by Kingdom.com. We'll be back in about 11 and a half.
See you later.
Welcome back to the 2019 Middle Tennessee Athletic Conference Championship game presented by Kingdom.com. Spencer Thompson, Isaiah Austin, and as well as Matthew Bowden and James Shannon all working together for bringing you this championship game. It's been a one-sided game thus far. The Colts looking to try and make it back and go for a back-to-back title. First time any school has done that other than Franklin Classical back in 2009 and 2010.
Yeet. This would truly be one of the greatest comebacks in MTAC history. The greatest.
Maybe even in football history. There's been some pretty decent comebacks.
I feel like it's been the halftime speech in a lot of Ezell games with the other team going to the locker room and just saying, well, how do we approach this here? What are we going to do?
What do we do, guys? What's supposed to happen here? The kickoff coming up just shortly.
Kickoff for the Eagles is number 55, Logan Davidson.
Probably we're going to see another onside kick here. Who knows? But here we go.
That's in.
And it's in. The
Wow.
Colts get it. The Colts keep it back at the 40-yard line.
There's been a lot. There's been a lot of firsts in this game.
First and 10 on the 40-yard line for the Colts. We'll see if they can make a comeback here. Left side rush by Brooks Pugh. Gain of about 2 yards.
Hey, and that's a good run. It opens up things. I'm not sure how they're going to approach this second half, but once again, the ball's going to have to go to Pugh if there's going to be any chance at a comeback.
45 reads timely of the Eagles. That'll bring up the Colts. Second down.
Of course, as the mercy rule is running right now, the Colts trying to get that clock stopped. It's running down here. Perfect time to tell you the 2019 MTAC Championship presented by Kingdom.com is sponsored by Grace Point Healthcare, Modern Medicine the old-fashioned way. Jets Pizza of Springfield, Fort Campbell, and Clarksville. Let's get Jets. The Allergy Center of Franklin. Visit allergyfranklin.com. And by Joe Graves with I Hate Buying Insurance. Visit IHateBuyingInsurance.com. This is Micah Jones. Scrambles on the 30-yard line, toss,
That's a
intercepted.
Pick. Second pick.
Second pick of the night and second pick for Derek Griffin. Finally brought down by Johnny. Almost brought down by Stapleton. Staying on his feet. They can't wrap up a tackle. He's staying up. Derek Griffin. If that man doesn't go to college, then he's probably pursuing an academic career, which would be great. But with plays like that, you hope you see him at football at the collegiate level.
Yeah, definitely, and he definitely has what it takes. My goodness, that I can't tell if that was great running or just bad tackling.
We'll see if we can get the call from Shamel. It's a face mask ruled on the Colts.
Yeah, I saw a bit of an awkward jerk there at the end of the play. We got a little replay here. One broken tackle.
Two broken tackles. And then
three.
We need like a tackle counter on the scoreboard. Four. Almost five. Close.
A little bit of a jolt there at the end. Couldn't see great from our angle, but saw a little bit of motion on the helmet.
So now it's a interception, and they move it forward to about the 33-yard line, maybe the 32. But a first and 10, and the Eagles trying to do more damage than they already have.
Yeah, and I'm curious to see. Can't tell from here who's in there at at running back.
And rush up the middle to about the 30-yard line, gain of 2 yards, 2nd and 8.
And it looks like Coleman in there at running back. Kadarius Price is on the sideline for the first time tonight, maybe giving him a little rest and giving other guys in there. Because, after this, I don't know if I can say that or not, but they may have another opportunity to play.
Make that now a 2nd down and 8. As have about 8 minutes left in the mercy rule running down. And you still have to give credit to Christian Community because, even though, people saying the North is weak and it's a down year for the North Division, especially with essentially 2 teams being out of that division as it's tipped up and in the backfield. Looks like the Colts may have recovered it there.
Now, not the right read there. He just needs to go down right there. But as you were saying about Christian Community School, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's just that, the North was a down year for some people saying and such, but still the Colts had to win those in-division games, and they had to win against Lancaster to get to this point. So, they've 2nd place after being in 4 of the last 5 championships, 2nd place twice in the last several. It's not bad.
Yeah, and certainly after all the guys that they lost last year, nobody thought they would be in this position this season. And Micah Jones has stepped in and taken on the leadership role, and you've gotten receivers, pretty solid line play on both sides of the ball, a great secondary, and they've really shocked everybody. So regardless of how this outcome turns out, this season is going to be seen as a success.
As Jones scrambles, he's got it to the left, intended for Brooks Pugh, incomplete.
2 guys in the same vicinity, and Micah Jones slow to get up, a flag right next to his body. We might see a roughing the passer here.
Might catch that here, and the microphone just having issues for us tonight. We'll make sure that's good for the 2019 Chick-fil-A Extreme All-Star Game.
That's really coming up.
Yeah,
jeez, that snuck up.
It's now 7 days away from today, but 5 days until we go out there.
Yeah, I kind of feel like every birthday past my probably 10th birthday was snuck up on me. I feel like just yesterday I was playing in my front yard, and now, I got taxes to pay. It is what it is.
Yeah, it's crazy. So now on a 1st and 10 at about the 47-yard line. Of course, you can enter in the Chick-fil-A giveaway for the All-Star game. The catch is made by Stapleton. Gain of about 2 yards. We got Chick-fil-A for a year giveaway, $10 an entry. You can enter into that. We may extend the deadline, not sure yet, but at least as of now, it is set to end tonight. But make sure you get your entries paid for, and you'll be entered in free Chick-fil-A for a year. So what you have to understand as well, you look at the history for Ezell-Harding. Their last state championship was when they were in the TSSAA against Cloudland, 63-26. 18 years ago, the Eagles got a state championship as Micah Jones scrambles through, gets a yard short of the 1st down marker for a 3rd down and 1, but the history behind the Eagles and the frustration for 18 years and then finally making the move to 8-man football, it's not only paid off for them, but they're just under 17 minutes away from bringing home a title to Antioch.
Yeah, definitely, and I could see them in a couple of years being one of those teams that will maybe pick up a couple of 11-man games throughout the season because I really think that their roster is prepared for that kind of fight. But we'll have to see, especially with numbers coming back, retention rates, and how many players they can get before they make decisions like that.
Shovel pass in the backfield. It just looked like there was miscommunication and recovery by the Eagles. It's tough.
It was recovered by the Eagles. The result
certainly. And again, this clock has been ticking. We've seen no scores here in the 3rd quarter. So it's coming. We're getting close to coming to an end.
Maybe not quite as painful of a loss as the Colts had in the 2017 championship where it came down to the wire against the Patriots, but still a tough loss to take, especially after losing to them 54-34 earlier in the year and taking, of course, having their undefeated regular season streak broken against Lancaster and taking the loss to the Freedom Cowboys. I mean, it's although the Colts ended 5-4, it was still a positive record. And again, it's still a team that won 5 out of 9 games this year in the regular season. And as another rush.
Goodness gracious.
Another big block. And there goes, this time it's Braxton Coleman, the junior, gets to the end zone, another 6 points.
They can rotate anybody in at running back, and they run with the same intensity and fight. It's just like, it's unbelievable. It's honestly, they're passing the torch from quarter to quarter on who's going to be the next top back on the team. It's unbelievable to watch.
Giving everybody a chance to have control of the football. Let's make that now a 2-point conversion attempt as we see the replay here, and just Braxton Coleman with a good stiff arm.
Yeah, and this is a guy you've only seen him touch the ball a couple of times tonight, but I thought for sure that was Kadarius Price just because of how hard that hit that he sustained was and still stayed up. All these guys have been in the weight room, Spencer.
And the 2-point conversion is good. To make that now 58-6, the 2019 MTAC Championship presented by Kingdom.com, sponsored by Tennessee Heat Athletics. Visit TennesseeHeatSports.com. Dr. Sterling Foster. Visit drsterlingfoster.com for all your digestive issues and chiropractic needs. Chuck Minor Homes. Visit chuckminorhomes.com for the best home deals in Middle Tennessee. And by Symmetry Financial Group's Daniel Hoffmeister. Safety for your family.
My daughter said some fans said,
58-6, and with 3 minutes exactly left to go in the third, it's kicked out of bounds. One of the first times we've seen a regular kick tonight.
Yeah, then it's a little too much salt in the wound to kick an onside here, especially with it being a championship game. Just give them an opportunity to field it or get their offense out there. If anything, it's just more work for the defense.
And one last time, at least in the MTAC regular season, we got a few times, but last time we mentioned our sponsors in an MTAC regular season game, the 2019 MTAC Championship game presented by Kingdom.com, sponsored by International Fire Protection Incorporated. Life safety is our business. Grow, Live, Give. Visit growlivegive.com. Star Physical Therapy. Your health, our hands. Choose Star. And by Kingdom.com, the ministry technology provider. Well, the first question a fan might have after seeing this championship game as a return by Brooks Pugh might get the chance to go out the distance here. Goes to about the 45-yard line, and that's what we've seen from Brooks Pugh throughout the regular season. That's what we've seen from Brooks Pugh throughout the season.
Yeah, and great return for him, getting it into enemy territory and an opportunity for the Colts to strike here.
Now, of course, for the typical fan, the first question they're going to ask by looking at, if they look at the storylines going into this, the Colts defending their championship and such, the first question that they may ask is the dynasty of Christian Community over? And the obvious answer there is not necessarily.
No, not at all. And next year they're only going to have 3 seniors, barring no new entrances or anybody leaving. But the year after that, they have 10 seniors.
Yep.
So they have an opportunity just right off the bat to have 10 upperclassmen in a couple of years. So as they rebuild, and this program is going to be back to just exactly what it was, if not bigger.
Brooks Pugh up the middle for a rush of 5 yards. And that was one of the big things we mentioned earlier, is that the seniors of Christian Community graduating took a huge toll on their numbers and, of course, the leadership you dig down. So a lot of senior leaders for the Colts, but led them at least to a championship and to a second-place situation.
Yeah, and the senior leadership this year has really been a testament to how far they've come. Had struggles throughout the season, but they've finished out the season so strong and gotten themselves in this situation.
And 1:19 left to go in the third. The Colts call a timeout. But the Eagles are about 13 minutes away. .119 after the timeout called by Coach Flanders. It's been one of those one-sided games for Coach Flanders. Catch is made by Pugh, and right side, Pugh gets probably a first down, maybe a little bit short.
He might be a centimeter short there.
Maybe they get the index card out and measure it. But, you know, for Coach Flanders, I mean, again, he's 1-2 in MTAC championships. And, I mean, he may go 1-3 here, but you have to see that situation as he's still gone to 4 championships.
Yeah, definitely. It's the LeBron effect, I guess. LeBron, you know, although his finals record isn't perfect, it's the fact that he's been to so many, and I don't think that record is going to hold up. I think that if Flanders sticks around for a long time, he's going to have a lot more and a lot more wins.
Maybe a cycle for next year if the maybe a cycle for the next year if it's lose the state championship, win it, and then going back and forth. You might see that. But, of course, the Colts have a lot of work to do going into the 2020 season, especially with all their seniors graduating this year. End of the third quarter, 12 minutes left, 58-6. Ezell is 12 minutes away from winning their first state championship in 18 years. Start of the fourth quarter, and looked like the ball may have been ruled loose or down by contact, but clock continuing to wind down here in the 2019 MTAC Championship. But Spencer Thompson, Isaiah Austin, Matthew Bowden, and James Shannon bringing you the action here from Antioch. And it's a really great thing for Ezell-Harding because to have the amount of frustration they've had in the last several years in 11-man, you know, going last year 3-9 in Coach McGee's first season at the helm and losing in that playoff game. They reevaluated in the offseason between him and Coach Charlton, their athletic director, and Dr. Lindsey Judd, the headmaster. They all had that discussion, and obviously now it looks like a great move to go to 8-man football, but it was tough at first for them to make that decision with Ezell-Harding being 50 years old. How about that
Goodness
catch by
gracious.
Isaac Altum across the right side? We'll get the replay on that. Just an incredible catch by Altum, even with the impending outcome.
The result of the play, it will be a Colts. First down.
I think we probably have it here. And here we go.
An athletic play by Isaac Altum, getting on the outside, getting the first down. They're in the red zone.
Yeah, but just a
wow,
great play.
strong
And
run.
rush up the middle, strong. The Colts are trying to push back a little bit. First and goal on about the 3-yard line.
Yeah, he just bull rushed that thing.
But you know, Isaiah, it's always tough for a school when especially for a school when you're at, as the replay here, catch is made across. There's Altum's athletic play to put him in that position, but it's always tough as a school when you're making that decision when you've played 11-man your entire almost 50-year history. I think a little bit over that. It's always tough as the Colts get just short of the goal line, but it's always tough as a school to make that kind of decision, but it's really benefited them well.
Certainly, and a lot of people don't know very much about the 8-man game, if at all. And for a school with such a rich history, especially, I mean, my mom went there. A lot of people I know are alumni of Ezell-Harding. It's a school rich in history, and I think a lot of people were confused by the move at first, didn't know much about 8-man football or what it brought to the table, and now they're reaping. Is that the right word? Reaping the benefits.
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
And a touchdown for the Colts. So at least they get another score on the board here to make that 58-12 as about 9:10 left.
And good drive by the Colts. And let's see if they can get a stop on defense.
Jones trying to coordinate something there and just gets a good play, pitch to the left. Great touchdown. Two-point conversion attempt here for Christian Community. Again, it's one of those situations where it would be a miracle comeback for the ages if they were to pull it off. Face it with 9-10. And
oh, wow.
Completed. Great catch, Avery Harper, the senior.
That was a pretty play. Fooled the defense completely.
58-14. And Ezell trying to wrap it up. No. No touchdowns for the Colts since around the first quarter, and managed to get their second one here with 9:10 left to go in the game, and Christian Community set to kick it off here. Onside kick attempt doesn't go the full.
That's a surprising
10
move.
yards, and waiting for somebody to touch it, and touchdown at the 48-yard line.
Now it's going to be interesting to see who they put in at running back. Is Kadarius done for the night?
Yeah, they'll of course let Derek Griffin play in one of their last games. Penzo, more than likely they're getting the invitation to the NHSA tournament in Panama.
I firmly believe that Ezell can beat any team in the nation right now.
Even Evangel?
I believe so, and I'll stand by it. You know, the result a few weeks ago was different, but this offense is crazy.
Against Tyler Henderson.
I think it's impossible to stop this attack. Oh, and it looks like they got a quarterback change.
And yep, quarterback change.
That was a dirty move, but it didn't open up a hole very much.
Make that about a 2nd and 11 as again, they're just finishing it up here. This is the kind of move that of course the Eagles came to play today. They were ready to go, fully prepared, and it shows. It shows, of course, the Colts were prepared with that first touchdown and such. It's just once Ezell got going, it was really tough to recover from it.
Yeah, definitely, and it looks like we're going to get out of here at a reasonable hour. Probably not preferable for a championship game.
Yeah.
But Ezell has played their hearts out, and now they're having an opportunity to get some new guys reps for the future.
Speaking of reps, right side rush by that is Luke Anderson, the freshman, getting the tackle.
You don't see a lot of freshmen playing in this offense, but Luke Anderson not able to find the outside, but I'm sure they'll get the ball to him again.
5 freshmen for the Colts throughout the year, 4 freshmen for the Eagles. And those freshmen have contributed when they were able to. But, of course, the 10 seniors have gotten the most playing time for the Colts as they tried to lead their team to another state championship. And they led them here, trying to get them another W in the MTAC championship. Just tough challenge to try and overcome against the Eagles. And gain of about 0 back to the line of scrimmage for a 3rd and 11.
Well, yeah, and this is really becoming a clock game. You see there, they burned about 3 to 4 minutes off the clock. Now they're going to punt them deep, and it just keeps that clock ticking. You see Derek Griffin heading back onto the field. Could be the punter. We don't know who the punter is of this team.
Yeah, on 4th down,
we'll just have to see.
You wonder if they're going to punt it or if they're just going to try and go for it here. So, looks like a per in the booth. Adam Klingenberg is the
and they're
punter,
going for it. They're going for it here.
They're going for it. Here's a 4th and 11. And Griffin punts
a rugby punt.
Might see a scrum break out here. Who knows? Down to the 32. Six minutes left. Five and a half as flags fly. Unfortunately, the microphone not working for Howard Chamel, but white cap for the championship day. All the great officials for this championship game performed in stellar fashion. The flag waved. Jones looking for the option. Looking for the pass off and almost chased down by the Ezell defense. Toss across the middle, catch is incomplete, intended for Stapleton.
Yeah, and that's good defense there. Kind of daring Micah Jones to throw the ball against their secondary. Their secondary has gotten a lot better the past few weeks. That was one of their weak points throughout the beginning of the season, but they have really picked it up, and Derek Griffin going in there. This defense is hard to move the ball against.
Second and 10 on the 33. Pugh and Brooks Pugh playing in his senior year, of course, helped the Colts to a championship in 2018. I believe he was with them on that national team in 2017 when they won in Florida. He was a sophomore to help him lead there, and then a
believe he
junior lead
was.
him to a
Yeah,
state
yeah.
championship. But, of course, with Brooks Pugh, not the finish he would want on his senior year. But, hey, I mean, he might be going to the All-Star game. Who knows? And run by Mike Jones. And collision there down to about the 48.
Good stick.
Reed Steinley with the defensive block.
And that's going to be a first down. We only got 3:30 left on the clock, though.
First and 10. About 3 minutes, and left side, Brooks Pugh running it to the left. Brooks Pugh getting to the outside. A little bit too late on those plays, but Brooks Pugh all the way inside the red zone to about the 13.
Yeah, and with 2:48 left, they might have an opportunity to score again here.
It will be a Colts. First down.
And now on the 11-yard line, see if Christian Community could get another touchdown here. And Brooks Pugh through the middle, touchdown.
And that's just core power, just blasting through the defense.
Make that now 58-20, 2-point conversion coming up. And there's the touchdown there for Brooks Pugh, just showing that replay in a second. And Pugh with the almost like a softball pass, it looked like. With
Yeah,
the
that could have been
underhanded.
forward. That could have been a pass.
And toss to the end zone.
That's a replay.
2-point conversion. Yeah, that's where the replay, Avery Harper with the catch.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, that was a
2-point
two-point
rewatching.
conversion.
Okay, I thought we were rewatching a play.
2-point conversion. Now 58-22. Eagles to about 2 minutes away from their first championship in 18 years. Kickoff here for the Colts with 2:15 left to go in the game. Trying to get another kickoff here, down by 36. It's a 6-possession game. And goes all the way down to the 9-yard line. Attempted return. And that's returned KJ Stockard, the junior. It's a nice stiff arm there and down to about the 16.
And that's a smart play to kick that one deep because they had nobody back. Just pin them deep. No more scores.
Probably just see the knee a few times. And the Eagles just trying to wrap it up here. And again, all the frustration that they've had in their record in 11-man football and all of the 18-year drought is going to be over. Christian Community ended their drought. First championship they had was back, I believe, 2002 2012, I want to say, maybe 2008. That was the last time they had a state championship, and the drought ended after several years. But Ezell-Harding about to end theirs.
And it's great to see Ezell-Harding, the newcomers, getting a championship in their first season.
60 seconds left. One more knee down. And they dunked McGee. The celebration begins just a little bit. One more time. Last offensive play for MTAC football for the season. And looks like that's going to wrap it up. And a new chapter begins in 8-man football. The Ezell-Harding Christian School Eagles end their 18-year drought and are champions of MTAC. The prize presentations begin in just a moment. We'll be headed down to the field, and the final seconds tick off the clock, 58-22. We'll be back with the prize presentations. Don't go away.
I'll get a question from the MVP.
Hey, you got my text.
Oh.
I sent you a text. Watch the whole game. It's not just part of it. A lot of the guys
No.
took safe from the all-conference thing.
Tournament. You got some stars. Is that all tournament players?
Are you sure?
Hopefully these kids can get out here.
Sure.
You talking about all conference like the? Yep. Sweet. Come on. Ready to go?
Check. Check.
Hey, James, turn the amp up. 4. It's going to be on the speakers. Ezell-Harding, I think it was a good move to go to 8-man football. What do you think? Well, championship trophy will be presented in just a moment. I'm joined on the field by MTAC President John Horner. And first we have the All-Conference Awards. We'll start first with Christian Community, Brooks Pugh. Avery Harper. And from Ezell-Harding, Kadarius Price. Derek Griffin. And Alex Valbuena. And now the stars of the MTAC Championship. The other all-conference members, Deuce Bragg from Lancaster Christian, Gage Holman from Bowling Green Christian, Josh Austin from Franklin Classical, Lane Spurlock from Lancaster Christian, Riley Hall, Riverside Christian, Devon Hargrove from Lancaster Christian, and Elijah Moore from Lancaster Christian. Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't see him coming. You're good. Ready to go? And now the stars of the MTAC Championship. First, for Christian Community, Brooks Pugh. And Avery Harper. And the stars of the championship from Ezell-Harding, Kadarius Price. Alex Valbuena. And your championship MVP, the senior quarterback, Derek Griffin. And congratulations to the runner-up for the 2019 Middle Tennessee Athletic Conference season, the Christian Community School Colts.
Don't break it. Don't break it. I mean, you know what I mean? Because everybody acting crazy, start throwing stuff.
And now, for the first time in 18 years, your state champions, the Ezell-Harding Eagles.